attraction mistakes that are killing your relationships. Attractiveness and attraction are two distinct concepts that many people often confuse, leading to significant consequences. While there is some overlap, attractiveness is primarily about healthy and desirable traits, whereas attraction is an intangible and irresistible pull towards someone. Relying solely on attraction can lead you into a toxic relationship, leaving you to deal with the aftermath for years, and that's not the kind of experience you're looking for. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Anna Jensen, and I help men understand modern women so you can find, attract, and keep the right partner or simply improve your relationships with women. My videos are designed for those ready, willing, and eager to take charge and change their lives. Welcome to Just the Tip. Today's inspiration comes from John, a former approach coach who now works as a corporate consultant and wishes to remain anonymous. Let's dive into the difference between attractiveness and attraction. Although they are interconnected, attractiveness can be thought of as a curated list of desirable traits specific to your ideal partner. These are qualities your logical mind knows you need for a healthy relationship. Attractiveness is about rational features and benefits. Some universally attractive traits include kindness, compassion, trustworthiness, and reliability. There are also physical features that most people find attractive, such as general symmetry, clear skin, and other markers of good health. However, physically attractive traits can be subjective, based on cultural or individual preferences. For example, you might be drawn to the classic girl next door look, or perhaps you prefer someone with raven hair and exotic features. On the other hand, attraction is how deeply you are drawn to someone, regardless of any pre-qualifying list your brain deems important. These qualities are sometimes impossible to articulate and can be based solely on someone's physicality or the chemistry you share. Attraction and desire can transcend space, culture, or even language and are often felt more in your heart than your brain. Attraction is why bad boys can initially attract good girls, but not necessarily keep them, and why overly attentive nice guys often get friend-zoned. Attraction is about irrational features and benefits. If you have a combination of attractiveness and attraction, you can both attract and keep your ideal partner. Attraction is about drawing someone in, not chasing after them. So how do you create attraction? You be attractive. Before you click away, let me explain. You might not be conventionally handsome, but you can be well put together. You might not be rich, but you can be financially responsible. You're not a bad boy, but you can be confident and assertive. You're not overly stubborn, but you are steadfast. Notice that none of these character traits cost a dime. You might be wondering, Anna and John, what can I do to attract women? First, work on yourself and your life where you know you need to. If you're not sure where to start, consider my Wake Up to Love program and put in the effort. With her, you're going to drop all the games. If you want the dames, drop the games. Instead, give her genuine attention and respect. To offer a genuine and confident compliment, focus on building emotional connections rather than just surface-level experiences. For example, instead of simply noting that someone enjoys hiking, explore the deeper reasons behind their passion, like how it makes them feel closer to something greater, such as a sense of divine presence. Women often value emotional depth, so engaging with their feelings on a more meaningful level can create a stronger bond. Let's break this down with examples. Surface-level questions might include inquiries about daily activities, preferences, or routines. For instance, asking what do you do for work, or what's your favorite way to spend a weekend. These are great for starting a conversation, but don't reveal much about someone's core values. Deeper questions, however, dig into motivations and emotions. Instead of just asking what's your favorite travel destination, consider asking why does that particular place hold such significance for you. This encourages reflection on personal experiences and values. If you prefer not to use why directly, You can rephrase the question to what is it about topic that really excites you, or what makes topic so meaningful to you. This approach keeps the conversation engaging while still encouraging deeper reflection. Actively listening to her responses with curiosity is equally important. You might not immediately grasp the full meaning, and she might not even realize it herself. This creates an opportunity to explore together, deepening your connection. Avoid rushing to the next question. Take time to fully engage with her answers. This prevents the conversation from feeling like an interview and instead fosters a sense of genuine interest. If you don't get to all the questions you wanted to ask, that's okay. It means the dialogue unfolded naturally, allowing both of you to learn about each other organically. You'll have plenty of time to uncover more later. You might worry about being friend-zoned, but maintaining this balance is key. Pursue her with confidence, but avoid chasing her relentlessly. For more on this, check out my video on pursuing versus chasing. For now, remember that women often appreciate the challenge of being pursued, as it demonstrates your standards and respect for their worth. The wingman's advice is to always leave them wanting more, but ensure they have enough to be intrigued. It's about creating a sense of anticipation and excitement that keeps the connection alive. Women subconsciously seek partners who show they value them, and this dynamic fosters mutual growth. By focusing on emotional depth and thoughtful engagement, you build a foundation for a meaningful relationship. Hey there! Let's dive into some important dynamics when it comes to connecting with someone you're interested in, particularly focusing on how your availability and authenticity can impact her feelings. Think about this. If you come across as consistently distant or seem completely uninterested, her initial feelings of intrigue and attraction towards you are highly likely to diminish and eventually fade away. And honestly, if she's a truly wonderful person, someone you genuinely want in your life long term, it probably won't be long before another great guy steps in and makes it abundantly clear that he is genuinely interested in her. This isn't just theoretical. I actually saw this happen to a friend of mine not too long ago, and I even shared this story in a previous video. She was trying to arrange plans with a guy she liked, but he was taking days to respond to her messages without offering any explanation for the delay, and he consistently avoided committing to specific dates or activities with her. As a result, she met someone else who demonstrated authentic interest in getting to know her, doing so in a way that felt genuine and respectful, not what she described as creepy or desperate. She ended up going on a date with this second guy. Unfortunately, it turned out his profile photos were significantly outdated. We're talking maybe 30 years old. This highlights a crucial point. Authenticity matters. Always lead with your true self. Don't engage in a bait and switch where you present one version of yourself initially, and then reveal something different later. It simply won't lead to a successful or fulfilling connection in the long run anyway. Now, let's consider the other side of the coin. While being too distant is a problem, being too available or overly eager can also be a major turnoff. When you appear excessively available or desperate for her attention, it often signals that you might have low self-esteem, lack personal standards, or don't have much else going on in your life. This perception makes it incredibly difficult for her to respect you. And here's a key principle to remember. Respect is absolutely essential and typically precedes attraction. She simply cannot feel attracted to you in a meaningful way if she doesn't respect you. And fundamentally, she can't respect you if you don't demonstrate self-respect by having boundaries and standards for yourself. Think about it. There isn't a high-quality woman out there, the kind you truly want to build something with, who is thinking, you know what I really want? A guy who seems low value and has absolutely no standards. Yeah, someone I can't possibly respect. It just doesn't align with what people look for in a partner. Okay, I understand this can sound a bit confusing because it seems like conflicting advice. Don't be too aloof, but don't be too eager either. So let's simplify this significantly. If you take away nothing else from this discussion, besides perhaps noticing how much it might be raining outside, please remember this. The most effective way to avoid coming across as overly eager or desperate is to genuinely have standards for yourself. Know what your non-negotiable deal breakers are. Understand what your must-haves are in a relationship and in life. And most importantly, cultivate a fulfilling life with meaningful priorities that sometimes, by necessity, require you to say no to her or reschedule plans. Having significant priorities outside of the potential relationship also makes you a much more interesting and well-rounded person. Of course, you want to be supportive and available for her, but this should never come at the expense of your own well-being, your personal growth, or your established priorities. There are, of course, rare exceptions to this, often referred to as the 3DS situations: death, disease, or disaster. In these truly critical circumstances, you absolutely can and should step up and be there for her as her knight in shining armor or her rock. However, even in these crisis situations, you need to proceed with caution. If she bonds with you intensely during a personal crisis, it can sometimes feel very much like falling in love, when in reality, it might be more about her feeling rescued and you feeling like a hero. To avoid building a connection that is based purely on a specific situation rather than a solid, lasting foundation, which can unfortunately lead to heartbreak down the line, it's important to revisit your fundamental compatibility factors. Think about your attractiveness list, not just physical, but what truly makes a relationship work, and consider your deal breakers and deal makers. If your core values, fundamental beliefs, and long-term goals don't genuinely align, and you find that you have very little in common beyond the immediate circumstances or initial physical attraction, you are likely setting yourselves up for a challenging journey that may not endure. Such a connection might simply be a temporary bond masked by the intensity of the situation or purely physical chemistry. Okay, just a quick pause. I was actually interrupted by someone just now, and I'm currently filming this with my very old cat nearby. This feline companion is over 21 years old, believe it or not. Alright, let's get back to it. So, I know we've covered quite a bit of ground in what might seem like a short amount of time. Please remember that learning new information, especially about complex social dynamics, takes time and repetition. Don't feel discouraged or beat yourself up if you don't remember or fully grasp everything you hear the first time around. It's perfectly normal. You might find it helpful to watch this video again and perhaps choose just one specific idea to focus on and practice. For instance, maybe you decide to work on your listening skills and practice asking deeper, more insightful follow-up questions when you're talking to people. If you make an effort to practice this with everyone you chat with, even in casual conversations, it will gradually become a natural habit and feel much easier and more comfortable when you're talking to someone where it truly counts. And if you're looking for a more structured, step-by-step approach to improving various areas of your life, including figuring out where to start and what priorities to focus on first, you might want to consider exploring my Wake Up to Love program. It comes with a money-back guarantee, so there's absolutely no risk involved for you to check it out. Also, be sure to watch my videos specifically addressing the topic of chasing. It ties into some of these ideas. Instead of focusing on what's coming next, I have faith in you. I'm sending you lots of love, and a big thank you to John as well. May God bless you. This cat is so old, and I love it. That's my sweater, by the way.